I did my BSc in physics honors from a college under the University of Calcutta, RKM Narendrapur. Then I went on for the exam called IIT Jam Physics, and I qualified that, and I got into IIT Guwahati for MSc. I graduated my I completed my MSc in 2023. I gathered some research experience along the way, like in the form of internships and the MSc project. And then I dropped a year. I did I did another project, and then I applied for the US in for fall 2024. And I applied to 10 universities. Four have given me, four have released their offers till date. So I have got admits in two. I've got admits from Virginia Tech and from University of Arizona as of now. I think some I'll get one or two more maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
So whatever. So I have had good discussions with a professor at Virginia Tech, and I really like another lab at University of Arizona also. So I'm really confused. About which lab to join. So that's what I wanted to really discuss with you.
Okay. You have, assuming you have scholarships from both places, right?
Yeah, I have a scholarship from
Okay.
both places.
Okay. Um, so that's good. First of all, congratulations.
Thanks.
So I'm glad that you're coming here to study. Looks like you have done quite good amount of research and things like that. So only one question I have with you is, so if you look at PhD, right? So
Hmm.
PhD is roughly like 4 or 5 year of commitment.
I mean, in experimental physics, it usually requires six.
Yeah, yeah. So I shouldn't. I could have said 8, but I was trying to be conservative. But
No,
let's say,
basically, I've seen the alumni record of the
yeah,
lab, so
yeah,
it
yeah,
usually
yeah,
takes six.
yeah, 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 yeah. No, no. I completely agree with that. 4 is conservative in the sense, and in US, your advisor just clings on to you sometimes. So, but
Other than
anyway,
that, it's
that's a
basically
sep. Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
What you said?
No, no. What I was saying that other than that, the coursework is there, unlike Europe
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
other
yeah,
countries, so
yeah,
that takes up some time.
yeah, yeah. You are right. I think just check one thing when you come here. How much course you can transfer from your MSc. It is a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
possibility.
Yes, yes. There
So
is some
that,
course field transfer.
yeah, yeah. So what I'm saying, if you can do that, that would be awesome.
I'll try to do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But anyway, but as I said, for someone who is a scholar and wants to study, I would definitely tell you is you would love taking courses. The course
Sure.
here doesn't seems like a burden. You will enjoy a lot, unless until you get really bored and you are like, I really need to focus on my research. But having said that, I would say if you ask me the criterion that I would go for, so I did my master's from University of Arizona too.
All right. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, I did that. So when I finished my undergrad from India, I came to University of Arizona. So in terms of ranking, I would say both universities I would rank all plus minus the same, unless and until if I'm not wrong, the physics program, you're going to physics department, if I'm not
yeah,
wrong.
Department of
Yeah.
Physics.
I think the physics department of University of Arizona is really, really good.
Okay.
I think if you look at the department ranking, I think
Mhm.
it's, in my personal opinion, I have heard more about that department. I think that department is par excellence as compared to Virginia Tech.
No, basically, Virginia Tech is known more as an engineering school, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
No, no,
the thing
I'm
is,
talking about like the physics department from
yeah,
from Arizona, because I think it, especially their astronomy, astrophysics, that those are though, because those department I know because we collaborate with them in many projects.
exactly. But the thing is, I'm not into theoretical or astrophysics and stuff.
Okay.
I'm more into like experimental condensed matter, material science and stuff. So
Okay.
that is Virginia Tech, since it excels at engineering, it actually excels at applied physics as well. So I
Okay.
really loved the department, the entire department of applied physics, experimental condensed matter at
Okay.
Virginia, and they have really good collaborations with, like they have actually the lab where I'm planning to do my research at Virginia Tech. It does its work simultaneously apart from other collaborators. it has, I mean, it does work simultaneously with the electrical engineering and the material science engineering departments. So of course, since VT is like known as a good engineering school, so that really adds to the thing.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, so I wasn't finished actually. What I was trying to say there is, if you look at in terms of the university, I would say University of Arizona, because it's a bigger university, not just the engineering school. I would
Mhm.
say it is much bigger. It is a little bit more known in my opinion.
Okay.
But having said that, I think PhD is because you are not coming here for masters, you are coming here for a PhD program. I would say you should look into in a very much more details about your advisor.
Yeah.
You should look on much more details about what happened to the past students who have been in that lab, like whether where they are now,
Yeah.
right? I think that is, in my personal opinion, is more should be more of a value.
Mhm.
So, for example, let's say it also depends on, because I have seen that one thing is, although I am not in academics, so it doesn't hurt me that much. But if you're going to work for a professor who is 70 years old, personally I would avoid that, because you
Mhm.
want to work with someone who is like an associate professor. Um, if it's an assistant professor, that's also fine too. But sometimes assistant professors, again, as I said, they will put you too much work, and if it's up to you, because they are looking for a tenure, so they are like on top of you all the time, which is fun
Mhm.
also. Many times you will see a lot of assistant professors actually essentially become your colleagues.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Because because their age and your age would not be a gap of 20 years. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
what I'm saying is that sometimes helps too. And I have seen that camaraderie between young professors as
Okay.
compared to professors who are, because what happens, let's say if you for because you are looking your career too, right? You are looking your 30-year, 40-year career. And what happens is, if you start to work under a professor, unless until that professor is really amazing, I mean, there is no bias on that. What you will find is, they get retired and then you are on their own. You know what I'm saying? You need a professor who is growing so that you can grow along. And especially if you decide to go to academics after your PhD, that is, I think, is a very, very important. So that is something that you should think of. But again, it should not be a deal breaker. The deal breaker should be what the professor is, what's their working style is,
Can
how. Yeah, go ahead.
Uh, can I ask you a question about this age? So the professor I've been talking with at VT, he's 60 now. I mean, he does amazing work and his students are really well placed and he's very enthusiastic and everything. He did a 1.5 hour meeting with me like before the applications. So, but then of course, if he's 60 now, he'll be 66 maybe when I
No,
graduate.
that's okay. That should not. I'm talking about like professors who are 70, 75, things like that.
70 now.
Yeah, who are like, let's say, the professor who is 70 right now. Because what happened is, by the time you will graduate, within 3, 4 years, I'm assuming that person is going to retire.
I mean, what is the retirement scenario in the US like?
I
Is
mean,
it age
there is no retirement, but what happens, what I'm trying to say is, by the time you are 75, you are on the downhill side of your career.
okay, okay,
You
okay.
understand my point? And the reason I say you, because I have seen that very closely. I have seen people who have worked with professors who are, let's say, around 40, 50 years old, or 60, let's say, versus
Mm,
in my case, in my both cases, where both of my advisors, when I joined, I think they were around 70.
mm,
And they were big shots because they were like larger than life figure. So I joined them. But what happened is, in by doing so, is by the time I right now, both of them are retired.
mm.
So
Okay.
what I'm supposed to do now? You understand my point?
Mm,
So
mm.
for example, I need someone
For recommendation and all.
for anything. Even, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't need recommendations anymore. But I wish I would know a professor who is still 60-year-old, because then I can do a lot of amazing things. I can collaborate, I can do this. I will tell you, I had a co-PI. I had a
Mm.
co-PI,
Mm.
and that guy is, I think, it should be like 55 right now.
Mm. Mhm.
We have blast all the time. He is more like my advisor.
Okay.
In sense that I don't have anything against my PI, but what I'm
Mm.
saying, the master's one is retired, emeritus, done. The other one is retired too, and both are now in their 80s.
Okay.
So
Actually, I have a, please go on.
yeah, yeah, so what I'm saying, this is one thing that I have noticed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think it is important, especially if you decide, if you are thinking that, I'm probably gonna go on academic, because I have seen people, like in
Yeah.
US it matters so much that I have seen people who have built lineage, like their advisors, because let's say they graduate when their advisor was 50, and the
Mm.
advisor is still growing, so he became an NSF director. And imagine if your advisor is like that and you are a new professor, I mean, you're gonna grow.
Okay.
They go to
Yeah.
labs and there are big meetings with. So what I'm saying, I think as I said, especially for academics, if you are looking for a career in academia, the lineage is extremely important.
Okay. So I have a very specific question.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just comparing the two professors I have. I mean, the two professors I've interacted with. So the professor at VT, he has like his work is absolutely amazing. I mean, I
No,
love his work.
I'm not. I don't mislead. I'm saying,
No,
let's
no,
say
no.
both are equal. Let's say
Mhm.
I'm
Okay, okay,
my
okay.
basis of telling you is based on, let's say both are equal. Both are good.
Yeah.
Both have extremely good work ethics.
Yeah.
Both are not abusive at all.
Okay. Yeah.
Because those things matter, number one, let me tell you. I put both of them together, and both have done remarkable work. Both are really well known.
Hmm.
So what should I choose? That was my basis telling you.
I understand. So, like my professor at VT, he has all the among all the students that have graduated. I mean, most are working in the industry, like
Mm.
Microsoft Quantum, Purdue, Varian, and all. Three of them are into academia. Like four are in academia. So I'm telling, one has already become a professor at probably Colorado State University. One is now doing a PhD at Princeton. The other is doing a PhD at, postdoc at Princeton. One is doing a postdoc at MIT. And a very old guy, I mean, maybe we graduated 10 years back. So he is at Sandia National Labs right now. Okay. So, so this is one. And if I come to the professor at like Arizona, there, I mean, his students are either at national labs, like he has a lot of collaborations in national labs like Los Alamos, ORNL, and all. And the other like the other half of his students are in industry. Now the problem is, as an Indian student, you must be knowing it much better, that it's really difficult to get an H1B if I go to the industry.
No, I disagree. Everybody gets the job. How you think every Indian student who come here, there are 30,000 students who flock from India every year. You think everyone gets a job in academia?
No, but then there's this lottery system that
Yeah, but
65,000 to
everybody gets it.
80,000.
Let me ask you, how many people you know, if let's say 20, 30,000 students flock every year to US to do studies, how many you think go back because they don't get H-1B visa?
I mean, I don't know, like, but then, like,
That's a
math says,
rumor. That's like saying there is a one person who didn't get it versus out of 20,000.
but I mean, I heard somewhere that there are 750,000 people competing, and then there are only
Yeah, but
65,000
everybody gets it.
people
That's what I'm trying
competing.
to tell you. I can tell you, it is a tedious process, is a painstaking process, but everybody goes through it and everybody gets it. I have not known anyone that, oh my God, I didn't got H1 and I had to go back.
Okay.
I'm asking you, every year so many students, 80,000 students come to US, 80,000 total from everywhere,
Hmm.
all the universities. I want to ask you, how many students do you know who have came back because they have not received their H1 visa. You definitely hear about a lot of news. Oh, H1B visas lottery is a painstaking process and this and that. But how many really have came back? What I'm trying to tell you is everybody I know have gotten it. It's been 20 years I have been in US,
Mm.
right? I don't know anyone who have not, especially if you're a PhD. Forget that. You have so many venues to take care of yourself. You can get a green card and things like that. That's what I did.
Yeah. Oh, you got a green card, right? Okay. So, I mean, yes, I have heard that you can get that EB-1 visa and like
Yeah,
that
if
is
you're a
the.
PhD, there are so many venues. I mean, people who are doing postdocs, you think they don't have H1? They have H1. But that's a different kind of H1, but that's fine. What I'm trying to tell you is I don't think your decision should be based on that. That's the worst metrics you can use to make a decision. That's all I'm saying. That's
Mm.
like out of if you have 10 matrices to say which where should I go, this should be under 15 actually.
Okay.
That's garbage.
Okay.
Your basis should be who's the
Mm.
guy? What are his ethics? How good the lab is? What my area of research is? Because if
Mm.
all those things are garbage, number 15 actually becomes number 5.
Okay.
Then yes, you will have a problem.
All right.
But if you do all those things good, that 15 is actually 100 because then you can get a green card and you really don't have to even worry about that. That's what I did. I
Mm.
never had a H1 from industry. I got straight my green card and moved on. And a lot of my friends did. My roommate did that.
So you got your, I mean, you probably did a postdoc after your PhD,
Yeah,
right?
I did my postdoc and then I got my green card.
Right during the postdoc itself.
Mhm.
Okay.
Because I had 30 papers.
Okay, okay, okay.
I mean, what I'm saying, you should be worried about those things. If you have a quality, nobody can stop you. I mean, this is the place where people flock in because of those reasons. And that's very true. All that news is bullshit, man. Those are for people who probably complain all the time. Let me ask you one thing. You have heard probably that, right? You have seen talk about how Indians are doing such a great in America and making a lot of money and things like that. And you have probably have heard about lot of homelessness in US also, right?
Okay.
And those homeless they are US citizens.
They are Americans, yeah.
That's the right answer right there. It's not the
Mm.
citizenship that you're gonna survive you. That's a very wrong notion. Build
Okay.
yourself and you will be fine, man. This is the place where you should be fine because
Okay.
there are no other biases other than how good you have done.
Mm.
If you do good, everything takes care, the system takes care of you.
All right.
Unless and until you are extremely unlucky. Extremely. Like, it's like, hey, there was a guy, right? There was a story I can tell you. There was a guy said, hey, I want to ask you, how would you survive if a tiger runs after you? And the guy said, I'm gonna run. He said, what if he run faster than you? He said, I'm gonna go inside the house and close the door. He said, what if he breaks the door? He said, I'm gonna run to the top of the floor. He said, I'm got a gun and gonna shoot him. What if your barrel has no bullets? I mean, if you're that unlucky, I mean, what can I say?
Of course, of course, of course. Okay, I mean, this was really reassuring because I was really
No, it's
confused.
bullshit, man. Don't read news. If that would have been the case, I can tell you, people have gone to Japan and nobody goes there to study. Very few people. Look at the
Mm.
ratio. Look at Europe, how big it is, and how many people go versus how many come to US. There is a reason behind that.
Mm.
Why people don't go to Europe or Australia, like in 90,000 versus every student who graduate from, let's say, IIT, ask them what's their
Mm.
first choice.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a simple thing, and there is a reason behind that, because in US the pool of opportunity is huge.
Mhm.
You show the talent, you know how to twist your fingers in 20 ways, you can make money. You understand my point?
Mhm.
Like you can see the guys over here, they do like crazy shit, like maybe dance in 10 different ways, probably make millions, right? And that's the fun fact about US, because the opportunity pool is for everyone. If you're a musician, you can make money. If you are a singer, you can make money. If you know how to make somebody laugh, you can make money. I'm talking about good money. I'm not talking about survival money. So my point
Mm.
here is, I think that what your goal should be. How can I'm gonna do better? And that's what I said is how all your criterion should be based on what my lab is, how
Mm.
great my work is. Is my work is addressing a problem which is which Newton was working, or it's my problem something which Elon Musk is working on, a
All right.
futuristic work,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Is my
Mm.
problem is something which is tackling the issue or upcoming issue? What are the topics? What the advisor is? Does he allow me to go to? Does the advisor gives me freedom to think? Does my
Oh,
advisor allows me to go to present my work in the seminars, and does the guy has the money to do that? That is more important, because
mm.
if you don't do that, trust me, your the outcome from your work would not be that great, and that will reflect on what you're going to do after that.
All
And,
right.
and and that's why I'm saying the simple criteria to figure that out is where the alumni are.
Mm.
Talk to them. Say, what do you think about your advisor, man?
I did talk to one of them from
Yeah.
VT.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, usually people are very bitter when they are doing PhD, but if the advisor is not abusive, they
Mm.
will tell you good things about advisor once they are out and working.
All right, all right.
But I mean, I didn't like my advisor when I was working because we had head on toes, but now I say many great things, right? So something like that. Once I am doing good, if I can figure it, I can see why he was doing it. But if unless until the person is abusive, you know what I mean? Because there are
Yeah,
stories
yeah.
where your advisor is like abusive, and I talked to a lot of students where they had a really, really tough time with their advisors. They really, you know, because PhD is your advisor becomes your family.
True.
PhD is not, you can go to Harvard and can have a very abusive advisor, and he or she can make your life hell, and that Harvard will feel like shit,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So your advisor, your lab, because PhD is like you seldom even go out to meet any professor even within your department. You're confined to the people in your lab, your advisor. That's it. So
Mm.
that becomes extremely, extremely important.
All right. I get it.
So, and that should be the criteria. As far as if you look at, as I said, the both our universities are concerned, I will tell you one another thing. And this affected me a little more, and probably I think you have a bias towards going to Virginia. That may help you also. I didn't like
Mm.
University of Arizona because the weather was shit. It was a desert climate. I got sick. I am from Nainital. I mean, I love mountains.
Oh, okay.
I for me it was for those 1.5 year that I spent there.
Mm.
I made sure I'm gonna run from there, even though my advisor was offering me a PhD, and I chose not to. I went to Maryland
Mm.
in a totally different department, starting totally new. I would have finished there much easier, although I didn't took much time there too. But what I'm saying is that was a deciding factor for me. Swear to
Mm.
God, I can tell you, when I went there, I remember going there. I joined in January of 2004,
Okay.
and my spring break happened in March. And my uncle, who used to live in Chicago, he invited me for a spring break. I
All
went.
right.
I don't think I had loved grass, the green grass, that much in my life.
You could have written some poems, maybe.
Dude, I can tell you, I was like basically gloating on the grass. I was just running on the grass because it's a desert climate. It become fucking so hot there, and if you're
Okay.
not used to that dry heat, because
Okay.
as an Indian we like wet heat. Pasina is fine for us,
Hmm.
right? Sweating is okay, but that
Yeah.
dry heat, it kills you, man. And for that reason only, I can tell you that was one of the biggest driving decision for me to say I need to get out from there. And
Okay.
and and, and trust me, when I say it becomes hot, it becomes freaking hot there, man. Summers are crazy, and winters are too because the sand. It becomes like at night it becomes so cold, and in the
Become
daytime,
cold.
yeah, it becomes scorching it. I mean, the cactuses are like the huge cactus you will see in the world there.
It's Rajasthan magnified.
Oh, it's Rajasthan. I have been to Jaipur and Kota and other places, but this is I have not been to Jaisalmer. Probably that part is, but I would say Virginia Tech, beautiful campus surrounded by mountains.
I have heard that. I mean, it's very
No, it's
beautiful.
a very beautiful campus surrounded by mountains. The hiking, the everything that you would do is amazing. It's in the valley of Blue Ridge Mountains. The whole valley, the whole mountain it's freaking beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. You can hike all the time. River creeks. Here's the thing. I'm not a beach person. I'm a mountain
Okay.
guy.
All right.
I don't like eating fish. I like probably eating sheep. But my point
Okay.
here is if that is of a concern for you, you
Hmm.
should look for that also. And that could be the last reason then you will say take to Virginia Tech. Unless and
Hmm.
until there is something else.
No, 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 no. That's good. Okay. Like I'm really happy to hear you speak of that. That resolves a lot of things. I'll just ask you one last question. That is, like I know this is from India, and I don't know what exactly happens, but among the three of main avenues that are open to PhD graduates, like one of them is like normal university academia, and one of them is national labs, and the other is industry. So I am like a little more inclined towards national labs, but then I hear that there are some again. There is some reservation for like I mean foreign nationals are often not allowed and everything. It might be a little difficult to get a postdoc position in national labs. Could you explain the situation there and how I should navigate to get into a national lab maybe?
Yeah. So I worked in a national lab as a
Hmm.
foreign citizen,
All right,
as an
okay.
Indian national. Yeah. So what happens in US, there are national labs are of two kinds. One are run by Department of Energy, DOE,
Hmm.
like
Okay.
Pacific Net Northwest Lab, PNNL, like Oak Ridge National Lab,
Hmm.
and I don't know, a couple of other ones also.
Okay.
Those ones, as a postdoc, you can go and work. And to be honest with you, in my lab, there were people from IC Bangalore who did PhD
Okay.
and did that, directly coming from India,
Hmm.
and did their postdoc there. So no problem. The DOD labs, which are called Department of Defense, like BARC, Bhabha
Hmm.
Atomic Research Center, yes, you cannot. You have to be a citizen.
All right.
Those are like Sandia National Labs.
Okay.
Those are, I don't think Brookhaven Lab is like that. Brookhaven is DOE, so you can work there because I knew a guy who used to work there. He's a professor at IIT Roorkee now. Um,
Hmm.
and so Sandia National Lab, what else? Los Alamos.
Yeah.
Yep. So those are DOD labs.
Hmm.
So you cannot work there as a foreign national. But same way, you cannot work for Jet Propulsion Lab. But what
Okay.
happens, and you will find a lot of foreign national working for Jet Propulsion Lab because what they do their contract through Caltech. So
Hmm.
if you're that good, sometimes professor navigate around it. You know what I mean? So they do that. They say, okay, we gonna have your paycheck and your and where you're gonna sit is at Caltech, but the problems are you gonna work is for JPL. So your paycheck is not gonna come because the paycheck tells you where you're employed. You know what I mean? So your paycheck coming from somewhere else, but you are working with a professor on a program for JPL, and everybody does that. They circumvent it. I mean, if you're that good, and I know people who have done that.
I understand.
So I mean, those things are minor, but
So,
as I said, as a postdoc, you can work for a national lab, no problem. As I told you,
so
uh,
should I like during my PhD try to do some collaboration or increase connections in national labs for that
I
or
mean,
something?
connections are always important. But
Hmm.
again, it's that's what I told you. Remember first thing, how how your advisor sees you, and your demeanor and your work, and how much freedom they allow you. Because PhD, I can tell you, no advisor want their student to leave the lab. That's not happens, because you are wasting their money. So, advisor in US, unless and until you bring a fellowship from independent fellowship from NASA or somewhere, or bring your own dad's money to work, they are fine, do whatever you want. But if they are paying you, they will demand you. They will be very demanding. And their money is coming from a funding agency who is saying, "Hey, we need that work." So, especially a lot of students ask me, "Can I work as an intern for summer?" Trust me, unless an advisor don't have money, which is the worst thing that you can imagine. If most of the time, because you are a PhD, they will have money, and if they will have money, they won't allow you to go anywhere, especially summer, because summer is the where you really work. Because otherwise, all the time, either you are doing a TA or you are taking courses. Summer is the where they are like, no, we want you to work. And I know a professor who says, work more, we'll pay you more during summer, and they can do that. So don't come with a false expectation in that sense.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
But your
Yeah.
job is to finish your PhD.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Of
And in the
course.
meantime, make your professor rich. Not rich, but they get paid
And
for summer because you guys work. So
and maybe he'll make me rich after that. Maybe.
yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe, because ultimately it's on you.
Yeah. All right. I mean, okay, fine. That was very insightful. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
no
I've been
problem.
following you for quite some time. I mean, even before I went into IIT from your videos. So, I mean, very
I mean,
recently I woke up.
yeah,
So,
I see. I will tell you, Shah, one thing: do good work, you will be
mm,
fine.
all right.
And make sure you are coming here. The objective for you to come here and do PhD is because you want to do PhD, not because you want to become rich, because that will happen. The objective has to be different.
No, no, I
Because
really want
yeah,
to use
no,
that.
no, I'm just saying, I think I see that in you. I'm not saying that I don't see that. I see that, but a lot of time people do that, and they get into a lot of trouble. Because
Mm,
PhD is a totally different beast. PhD is not masters.
mm,
PhD is a lot of pressure. You should able to sustain a lot of pressure. You should, if you get lucky, if your advisor is really good and all that, they will take care of you. But trust me, PhD in US, because of the nature of, because in India, what have you get JRF, you get some senior SRF, right? And it's like all fun, and then because the government of India is paying your advisor, like okay, but here the advisor pays from their pocket. Dude, it that changes everything. It's like going to a सब्जी वाला saying धनिया देना, वो कहेगा आधा ही दूंगा और तुम लड़ रहे हो. Because it's a very different thing here. Because the way they get paid, because their salary is in is on the stake. They don't get paid. So if you don't do work, they don't get paid. So that guy's on top of your head, and you will see that. So
right.
it's a totally different ball game. But as I said, the best decision I took is to come to US and do my PhD, no doubt.
Mm,
That's also true for many reasons. But yeah, for work, definitely, no doubt. I mean, if you're interested, it's a overall, you will see in a bigger picture, because US play still holds, or not holds, I would say guide actually, where things gonna move around. So you are the one who basically, taking care of things, and doing stuff and things like that, seeing things which probably other person couldn't see sometimes. So
mm,
yeah.
understand.
Yep.
I mean, okay, fine. Thank you so much. I mean, this was a very insightful session. I mean, I really got to learn a lot. Yeah.
No problem. As I said, I think you are in very good position. I hate to talk to someone who says, I didn't get into PhD program. What should I do? Versus I got into three program. What should I choose? I think that to me is makes my job way easier, to be honest with you. So
Also, there's another thing. I mean, just came to my mind. I mean, as I said, six more universities haven't issued their decisions yet. So assuming that I get into a program where maybe like
Well,
the
don't
department.
don't assume right now. What you should do is once you have things ready, we can talk.
Okay, we
Let's
can
say
talk. Okay.
after 1 month you have four admits and that's it, and you are done. Then we can talk.
Okay, okay, okay. Fine, we can
Because
talk in that
everything
case.
is about assumption is just garbage.
True, absolutely.
Okay,
I was,
cool,
okay
Shah.
then.
Nice talking to you. Good luck.
It's great talking to you. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah. I'm gonna send you a link for the feedback. If you get time, please do
No, no,
send.
obviously, obviously.
Okay,
I'll be glad to do this.
cool,
Okay
man.
then.
Nice talking to you.
Thank you, thank
Bye.
you. Bye.